to play the guitar by the time we were done. We will actually have started a trip with him, a journey with him to start playing the guitar, and I think next time we have a celebration, then Bomas at 51, he should play something. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much, my friend, the MC, for the opportunity that we have given you and the role that you have played. Honorable Minister Najib Balala, the Minister for Tourism and Wildlife, and I want to say the senior minister in our cabinet today is very passionate about tourism, and we all know this over the years. The Cabinet Administrative Secretary, Mr. Boynet, retired IG, who is here with us, is the Honorable PS Safina Kwekwe, the Principal Secretary, Department of Tourism in the Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife. I want also to recognize the Chairman of the Board, Mr. Josiah Magut, who is also with here, and the members of Bomas of Kenya Board, invited guests, and I want also at this juncture to recognize Excellency, the High Commissioner of the Republic of Zambia, who is also with us here, Kapambe Kasosa. I also want to recognize the presence of the Deputy High Commissioner of Israel, who is with us here, Dramara Damana, who is with us here. And I want also to recognize at this moment all the other guests who have come to share a moment with us here as we celebrate our 50 years of existence. And as the MC said, 50 years of existence is not a short period. Some of us are just 10 years shy away from that. Very few in this hall are above 50. So Waziri and your team, we are very greatly honored for allowing yourself and the team to grace this occasion. This occasion is very key for us as Bomas of Kenya. Allow me at this juncture, our guest of honor, sir, to quickly make a brief presentation about Bomas of Kenya and why we are here today and what we are celebrating. Now, if you can see in the screens, our guests, we have a title, Bomas of Kenya Beyond 50 Years. It is indeed true that when you are born, you're bound to live, but we have lived for 50 years. We want to take stock of what have we done as Bomas of Kenya since the first year in 1971 up to today. But then we want to strategically position ourselves going forward. The vision of Bomas of Kenya is that we are supposed to be the leading custodian of all Kenyan cultures. And of course, we are supposed to preserve and maintain, promote diverse cultures of our Kenyan communities for tourism development. Let us proceed, the moderator of this. You can see that our overall mandate of Bomas of Kenya, as I said earlier, is to preserve, maintain, educate, and we are doing this through the education we provide to our children, both pupils and students of our primary and secondary schools, including colleges, about us rich and diverse cultures of all the Kenyan communities. In discharging our mandate, our guest of honor, sir, we do a lot of activities. But then, what is Bomas? When we began, we did not know who are the founders of this idea about Bomas. If you look at that screen, there is a memo, and this is quite key. That was drafted in 1958 by the DC of the native Nairobi district then, requesting that the colonial government allows all district commissioners from all over the country, the colonial government, to allow their tribal dancers to gather in an area around Ngong Forest so that they consolidate the activities of those traditional performances. I want to proceed. And remember, there were certain stadiums around this area, Kaluleni Native Stadium and many others where we used to have this kind of a thing. So in 1966, after Kenya attained independence, what happened is that the independent Kenya's government discussed the issues that were happening in the pre-colonial period, and the idea of Bomas was formalized and actualized by our very first government, led by Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. And in 1966, government allowed Bomas of Kenya to be established, and the founding father, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, allocated land from Gom Forest for Bomas of Kenya through the Ministry of Tourism and a parastatal that was there at that time called Kenya Tourism Development Corporation. In 1971, we began as Bomas of Kenya. Since that time, these are facts in terms of numbers. We have about 365 plus cultural performances that we do annually. Then we have 80 acres of land that was given to this institution. And then we also have 107 in terms of numbers, the number of staff that Bomas of Kenya has. We proceed quickly. Another fact sheet is about in 2009, we had a new Utamaduni restaurant, which indeed was supposed to, and that is what it does, to preserve our traditional cuisines. So you come to Bomas of Kenya, you are going to enjoy all the cuisines from across the country, authentic as they are supposed to be from those communities. We have 50 cultural dances that we have been maintaining here in Bomas of Kenya. We have 150 plus outside performances, because other than what we do here, we do this elsewhere. We have already received about 100,000 school-going children, both primary and secondary, who come to learn our cultures, and we give them an opportunity for practical lessons. We have also had over 5,000 international tourists, and I am glad to report that today, coincidentally, we had a number of tourists who are here just to enjoy what we do daily. Let's proceed. Honorable guests of honor, sir, you can see in that picture, there was once upon a time a member of parliament from Taita who was called Honorable Jackson Chapul, the MP of Taita, who was then the Minister for Tourism, and in 1971 is the one who laid the foundation stone of our very first building, which is the auditorium, synonymous to the political rallies, synonymous to the political national events, synonymous to some of the Kenyan dialogue and discourse that we have had. Let's proceed. Now, what have we done for the last 50 years? And I think it's important for all our guests that we have invited here to know that we do this through dance and music. The costumes that we have showcased in our villages for our guests who came here earlier, you've seen that. We have homesteads replicated from our indigenous homesteads from the various communities of Kenya. We have about 25 of them. We have those cuisines in Utamaduni and so on and so forth. We also support the Kenyan communities on cultural tourism development. And that is why I want to say, Waziri, when you think about Bomas, you think about, first of all, people. You say it and you normally emphasize that tourism is about experiences. In fact, the tourism we have here most probably would be in Tanzania and other places. But the question is, how is it differentiated? Is it differentiated by the fact that you hear Kenyan people are hospitable? It is our culture that makes us hospitable. And that is what we have done over the years. We have also promoted national cohesion and integration, unity in diversity. 42 tribes, and all of us agree and we live as one people, the Kenyan people. I also want to say that we have done this through providing education to our local and international tourists. We have given platform for our international researchers opportunity to come and research on Kenyan culture here in Bomas. Shortly we'll be talking about the technology, and you've also heard them talk about how we gave them an opportunity to integrate technology from Sweden in our Kenyan setup, and they have come up with something quite interesting. Let's proceed. Waziri, it's important to say that we have also become a center of reference for research. We also want to say that school children, and now we have a CBC program that the government of Kenya has introduced. We do not want to tell people that this is a very bad program. This is a wonderful program because it's talent-based. When we talk about artists, the dancers, the music, and all these things that we see here, we are providing that opportunity for our Kenyan children so that those who are born and they have a talent about music, they have an opportunity to have a living. A place of Kenya to interact with their cultures, that's what we do. And then, of course, Waziri, because we have depended on government over the years, we are saying that we need to be sustainable. And that is why we introduced the business of doing events and so on and so forth for purposes of promoting mice business, so that we can also get revenue for us to support our operations. Let's move. Thank you. And you can see Waziri, those are some of the images that we have there about the Bomas of Kenya dancers presenting a dramatized Luo drinking party dance at our homesteads in 1980. And you see we are still doing that today. Let's proceed. And let us proceed quite quickly. Bomas of Kenya is a national baraza. And this is quite interesting. As Africans and as Kenyans, as diverse as we are, 42 tribes. And now we have one or two others that I've introduced. And I want to say, Waziri, that we have introduced a Makonde dance in Bomas of Kenya. As soon as His Excellency the President recognized that community, we started preserving their culture, and we have a Makonde dance here. I want also to report that we have an employee in Bomas of Kenya who is from the Makonde community. What we have done over the years, Waziri, is that we have provided an opportunity for the Kenyan people to discuss issues that affect their lives. And Bomas of Kenya, for heaven's sake, and for all of you who know, sometimes you look at Bomas, you say, this is fireworks, that is a very hot place. How? Anywhere in African community where we had conflicts, people sat and resolved their conflicts. So Bomas has become that opportunity, that venue for Kenyans to discuss their issues. A good example is what we are seeing in that picture, Waziri. Delegates during the constitutional review that gave birth to the Bomas draft 2003, and that through the journey we have today, the Constitution 2010. Today. All these activities that led to the formation of our constitution or development of our constitution happened in Bomas of Kenya, and that's why we were a national baraza. We have also handled issues to do with the elections. Sometimes it's very hot. We are all as Kenyans expecting to see whether it's white smoke or black smoke. Waziri, you have been in this business of politics, and you know sometimes people want to see the white smoke. Bomas has provided that opportunity for white smoke, and that is why we take pride as an institution that has provided that. Now we have achieved consistently in terms of delivering authentic cultural products. We have also achieved in National Dance Company, we have 75 dancers. We have developed a new cultural and conference center. What you have opened today, Waziri, is a new conference center in a bid to sustain our operations. And you notice that you have planted a Mugumo tree today, Waziri. You're the first person to do that. And we are introducing something we are calling a Botanical Garden. A Botanical Garden that is going to enable Bomas of Kenya to preserve, first of all, our culture. Number two, conserve our environment. So we are through to that fact, and that tree that you planted will be taken care of. It has a significance in the Kikuyu community. We are inviting the other guests who are here to plant other indigenous trees. We will continue in the entire 8 pieces of land. We shall have all the useful, significant trees or plants from our various communities as we preserve the environment and preserve our culture. I also want to say that, Waziri, that we have also developed a master plan. Of course, when the founding father gave us this opportunity to do the activities of Bomas, the plan was not there. You are aware we have developed a master plan that clearly states what Bomas is going to be going forward. We have also established the Utamaduni restaurant, which was not there, to provide cultural preservation through cuisine. We have expanded our cultural tourism product over, and we have also represented our country both internationally and locally. And some of the activities that we have done, you can see there, we have enumerated. As I said earlier, we have provided venue for national matters. We have also collaborated with various strategic organizations. We have named them there. And we have also now, because we are aware of the challenges that we have in terms of erosion of our culture, embraced technology. And we have said that in what we demonstrated earlier. We have increased virtual engagement. For example, coronavirus came in, we didn't know, none of us expected it. We have been used to dancing in our hall here on the other side, but that time it became very difficult and we started providing virtual performances. Thank you very much, let's move. And currently we have projects that we are dealing with. An interesting one is the digital media production. We now produce our performances on digital. There is something that we offer in our social media platforms called Dance Nasi. We teach people about that, Chapa story, and so on and so forth. We also have rehabilitated our cultural gallery. That is a gallery where you will be able to find all the Kenyan artifacts for reference and research. Now, Waziri, this is interesting. The Sample Bar Africa project is a digital preservation of our traditional instruments. We are aware of the fact that over time, those old wazees, our grandfathers who played those instruments, authentically they played those instruments in a specific way. Those who came after them most probably adulterated it a bit. Those who are here there today most probably are playing it a bit differently. We do not want to lose that. And that is why we embrace this technology which you have seen, and it is officially launched by you today. We want to report that Waziri, out of our effort and initiative, we engaged with the government of Sweden through the Swedish Institute, who gave us a donation to develop 8 of those sample bars. The one you saw is from the coastal region. We have done research of the coastal region instruments. We are going to do this project in the whole country so that all the 8 original provinces of Kenya will have all their music instruments and their tunes preserved. This way, even if we are talking about 100 years, 200 years, those tunes and the melodies will remain in the cloud. That is what we're doing, and we want to thank you through the Office of the Minister and the PS for the support they gave us in achieving this. We have also, Waziri, digitized all our products and services. We're also developing the Bomas of Kenya signature, and I want to say here, Waziri, that today, as we celebrate Bomas as 50, the epitome of this celebration is the launch of that signature tune. We will talk about how we developed it. Now, that is about Bomas of Kenya, ladies and gentlemen, 50 years ago. It would be unwise for us not to think about what happens tomorrow. And that is why we are saying we are aware we need to be innovative. And we are taking that innovative approach to culture preservation. We have begun with what you saw. Use of digital technology. We are going to develop a Bomas of Kenya application. This is a digital app that will be able to allow everybody in Kenya and out of Kenya to interact with what we do here. We are also developing a digital library, virtual tours through villages, virtual performances, and etc. Guest of honor, we have also done what we call unique tourism experiences, and of course with the ability to customize to individual customer requirements, because that is the world we have today. Strategic partnership with the media over the years, and I think this we recognize that fact that Waziri we haven't done very well in terms of engaging with the media, making Kenyans know what culture can do in terms of bringing cohesion and peace in our country. And input into the national education system. We are saying with these kind of things that we are doing here, the Kenyan child will develop interest in building their talent going forward so that they can become better artists. They can be better craftsmen and so on and so forth. Development of a uniquely designed eco-friendly cultural playground, and we have seen this through what we are doing in terms of conserving the environment. Let's proceed. Establishment of a National Utamaduni Day, Cultural Festival Day. I want to say this, Waziri, for the first time, the government declared 10th of October as Utamaduni Day. We want to seize the opportunity, and the Bomas of Kenya becomes the national center for celebrating our diverse cultures so that we can collaborate with the county governments and have our headquarters here for celebrating our Utamaduni and appreciating what we do. Of course, we are engaging in research, quite important, so that we don't report things that are not authentic. We're also interested in engaging with the stakeholders, and I want to recognize some of our partners who came here today from across the divide, those who are supporting us and those who are related to culture and tourism. My center of international repute. Waziri, all these things we said was a national baraza. Why baraza? The hall you opened today is called baraza because baraza is a meeting of Kenyan people. A meeting of East African people is a Swahili name meaning meeting, and meeting resolve issues. This has been national. But I think it's time going forward. We offered this opportunity to ourselves so that we can develop we are in Karen. We want to make good use of this land. The board is quite determined and so that you can be able to assist us so that we can provide that opportunity for this country. As you have said before, the Jubilee government has supported Kenya in terms of infrastructural development, the standard gauge railway, the express road, all these things that are happening in Nairobi. Ratings of Kenya as the best investment hub in Africa. So what about tourism? You have talked about niche tourism and diversifying to MICE business. Now, we as Bomas of Kenya today at 50 and going forward before we crawl through the first years of 50, 1+, we would want to request Waziri that we make Bomas of Kenya the international baraza. That international baraza, Waziri, is quite ripe. Everything favors Bomas of Kenya. I want to say this, Waziri, we have the security. You walk next here, you get security. If there is a tourist who wanted to come to Kenya, or there is a person who came to attend a meeting in Kenya, any delegates, and they were not able to travel to other parts of the country, they will interact with culture in Bomas of Kenya. If they wanted to see the Big Five, they will walk, not even by a car, to the national park. If they wanted to dash to Kisumu or to Mombasa, they can even walk to the Wilson Airport. Everything favors us here. We want Waziri who says this opportunity. We are ready to support the government in ensuring that this piece of land, this venue, this wonderful jewel is made and put into good use by the government of Kenya. Thank you very much with all my remarks, and I want to thank all of you for making it possible today as we celebrate Bomas of Kenya. Having done that, I want now to request Waziri, you allow me to invite the chairman of the board to greet the congregation, invite the peers who will then invite you to make your remarks, then we proceed that way. Thank you very much, God bless you, and let us celebrate Bomas of Kenya.
Bwana Waziri, karibu sana Bomas. Madam peers, wanakas, wageni wote, karibuni Bomas. You're most welcome as we celebrate 50 years since Bomas was started. Bwana Waziri, after my CEO has spoken, we stand with you. We know how much you have supported this institution. We know how you have helped us to even get a choreographer so that our dance is not kabisa ile ya zamani. Umekuja umetusaidia. Bwana Waziri, umetusaidia, tumejenga hii hall ambayo iko hapa. Na mimi nasema maneno yote ambayo tunapanga kufanya 50 years to come, pahali tumefikisha itakuwa ni milestone nzuri sana, ili kwamba sisi tutakuwa very relevant, na tunasumuza kwamba iko kitu inaitwa urbanization. Na urbanization inatoa watu reserve, inaleta watu mjini, na watu wakifika mjini saa nyingine wanaenda ng'ambo. Tunataka kuwa Bomas, tuna mambo yote ya culture ya 47 counties katika nchi ya Kenya, ili kwamba hata ukiwa Amerika unaweza kusaidika kupata maneno yako ya culture. Maneno haya Bwana Waziri itafaulu kwa usaidizi ambayo wizara yako inatusaidia kufanya, na sisi pia tunataka kuexpand, tuone kwamba tunafanya biashara ili tuchangie mambo ya utamaduni katika Bomas of Kenya. Kwa hayo machache nasema karibu Madam Kwekwe, we appreciate you. Without you mambo mengi hawezi kuwa inafanyika, lakini mmetusaidia pamoja na waziri, tunasema karibuni, karibu sana. Karibu Madam Kwekwe. Makofi.
Thank you, Chairman. Cabinet Secretary Najib Balala, the Chief Administrative Secretary Joseph Aimet, the Bomas of Kenya family led by the board, the Chair Josiah Magut, all friends of Bomas from within and outside this country. I think it's an evening now, so good evening. And welcome to Bomas at 50. I think I'm amongst those who didn't see Bomas at 1, but I'm privileged to see Bomas at 50. And that means I'm very blessed. And I know I'm not the only one here. Now we're in the same boat. So we should count ourselves very blessed that we are witnessing a milestone. Bomas, of course, being the home of the African culture, has demonstrated the best of what Kenya has. And all the guests who come here, I know, they will leave with more appetite, wanting to experience these cultures now in the communities which are represented here. So we look forward to another 50 years of progress, 50 years of growth. Culture evolves, but we know the authenticity of culture is not lost because we have Bomas that is taking care of that. So Waziri, thank you very much for the support that you've given unto us. One of our prostators in the State Department for Tourism, and I know they've done a lot, and they have big aspirations. But with the support that you have accorded them in the past, I know even in the future it will be possible for them to reach there. So allow me now to welcome the Chief Administrative Secretary, Mr. Joseph Bennett, who will do the honors of introducing the Cabinet Secretary and inviting him to make remarks. Bwana Bennett, karibu.
Our chief guest in this afternoon's extremely important function, the Honorable Najib Balala, the Cabinet Secretary for Tourism and Wildlife, the PS, Mheshimiwa Safina Kwekwe, the Chairman of the Bomas Board, Mheshimiwa Gut, Bwanagita, the CEO, the rest of the board, as well as management, invited guests from within and without, friends of Bomas, Bomas staff, good afternoon everyone, or is it good evening? Good evening everyone. Mine is a very simple assignment to welcome the Cabinet Secretary to address us, but allow me to say just one thing, and that is to commend this institution for having come this far. I think I'm one of the few privileged to have been around before Bomas showed up. So it found me here, and I'm sure it will outlast all of us if we continue supporting it. I just want to urge the board and the management to keep this excellent piece of work, keep improving, focus on constant improvement and keeping up with the times so that we are not musipito na wakati. As we preserve our cultural heritage, but we keep up with the pace of the dynamics ya dunia hii. And I'm personally gratified and excited that you have chosen to go digital, preserve our culture in the digital format, so that it's available and accessible not only to us within the country and even beyond. Having said that, I want to take this a privilege and opportunity to invite the Cabinet Secretary to address us, nikisema happy birthday Bomas of Kenya. Karibu Waziri.
Thank you very much, Bwana Bennett. Bwana Bennett, Madam PS, Chairman of Bomas of Kenya, the Board of Directors, colleagues in other parastatals, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are here celebrating 50 years of this great institution where it showcases the Kenyan cultures from all the 48 communities in this country. It's not easy, it's been long. We have come here also to celebrate this new facility that has just been built, and today we have officially opened it, which is a beautiful modern facility replicating the Boma architecture of our homestead. Mwaniki, I can tell you if you are 67, wewe umezeeka, mimi sijazeeka. Wewe ndio niwe mzee hapa mbele ya vijana. But yes, we are all, some of us are above 50, but doesn't mean when you are 50, you are old. You are 50, you are solid. And I want to say Bomas now has matured enough to be a solid organization. And I'm glad, Chairman, you and your board, you can count on our support at the ministry, that we want you to take this institution to another level. This is not just about preservation. This is about appreciating our cultures in Kenya. Culture evolves. How do we develop culture that interests the young generation that never saw Bomas of Kenya when it was established in 1971? Yes, I'm glad it was another colleague, former colleague, Bwana Shako, 1971 from the Coast region, and again from the Coast region, again we are celebrating 50 years again. Here we are. We want to encourage the youth to appreciate culture as their heritage so that they don't get evolved into a culture which is not theirs. They need to appreciate the international culture. They need to work internationally, but also to appreciate where they come from. And that's why this institution plays a major role. And I'm delighted that now you're creating your own digital app where you can showcase different cultures. But again, I want to urge you that make culture to be interesting and not to look primitive. It must be interesting where people can actually want to be associated with it, rather of culture being seen as the past, uncivilized, or a primitive issue. We want culture to be seen to be the lifestyle, even of today. When a colleague came from Gambia, a minister, he brought me a Gambian national dress. And I said, but this is a Gambian national dress. He says, no, because Kenya doesn't have a national dress. I said, no, we had one when I was a Minister of Culture. We created a national dress, but I don't know where it disappeared after some time. The only people who managed to keep the national dress in this country are the women who know how to dress up in that national dress. But it's not just as an image. We need to do it as a practice. And then I was proud to receive that national dress from Gambia because also it portrays the African culture. So all of us have a responsibility, and I'm glad, Chairman, you and your board and your management are working with other partners in the cultural and music fraternity, which have seen a beautiful instrument preserving the local traditional tools and instruments, which we are starting from the coast, and then we are spreading throughout the nation. That is the way we need to proceed and develop this institution. I believe these are stakeholders who are here, and this is a chance also beyond 50. What do you want to do? What is the culture you want to produce? Culture is not just a dress and about the past. Culture is about also integrity, honesty, hardworking. That is a culture. And those people before us, our great-grandfathers and grandparents, definitely had a culture of integrity in their lives. And today we are losing it. And we need to actually bring back the culture of integrity back to society. It's not about just dress and food and dance. It's about the soul of a human being. That we need to bring it back. On the other hand, I want also, because this is a beautiful facility, I know we want Bomas to modernize, and I'm glad this has happened today. But yes, I think we need to go beyond just this facility. We are working with the private-public partnership unit at the National Treasury to see how best we can develop this facility and this area to be a proper MICE facility. We don't want to say more about it because before people were talking a lot about MICE. We want just to walk the talk this time by working with the Treasury and to make sure that this dream finally happens in this area. You have all my support. We'll champion this on your behalf with the National Treasury, and we want to see this dream finally happens in our lifetime. This is important because it's not just about Bomas, it's about the country's GDP. And you understand that MICE is a major player in the tourism sector. We have the Kenyatta International Convention Center that is very active, and it helps us to bring conferences. And we have many like that that will be good, not only in Nairobi, but both in Kisumu, in Eldoret, in Kakamega, in Nakuru, in Mombasa, in Naivasha, across the country, so that we can be able to attract beyond just tourists who come for the beach and safari. So this is our intention, to integrate between cultural tourism and business tourism. And that's why today we are here to say beyond 50. That is the vision we want to bring together. So with those remarks, I want to assure you, Chairman, you and your committee, that you and your team, your board, we will work with you. I want also to appreciate the former board members, Francis and the others. They can stand up, we recognize them. These are the former board members. They've done a great job. Thank you. Yeah. And can we make the new board members stand as well? All of them. All the board members should stand. Yeah. Yes. So those are the board members of Bomas. I want all the CEOs of our parastatals also to stand so we can see them. CEOs. You have TRA, raise your hand. You have KICC, Nana, Betty, KTB, Jacinta, Convention Bureau, TPF, Steve, David Gitonga, TRI, and then we have the chairman of our parastatals, chairman from TRI, is there, and the chair of TRA, she's here. Pauline, where is she? Yes, madam, very good, nice, thank you. Hiyo mask yako sikuoni. Mamangina Waterfront, thank you very much. He's the coordinator of Mamangina Waterfront, and the coast is also here representing that board. Thank you very much. With those remarks, I want to say happy birthday, happy anniversary for your 50. But I can tell you, for the last 50 years, we have stagnated. We have not done much since the building, the old building was 1971. We need, in the next 50 years, we need to make this place a transformative area, not only for Bomas, but for the whole country. Thank you and good evening.
Asante sana Bwana Waziri. Thank you very much for that promise that we shall work together and indeed support Bomas of Kenya so that the next 50 years will be years of great, great, great progress and brand new things happening. And you told us we need to have a culture being a lifestyle of today, not just something that we're celebrating of the past. So ladies and gentlemen, with your permission, Bwana Waziri, we'd like to do a very special thing. We'd like to launch the signature tune. Now, many of us know that we recognize some corporates when we hear a certain tune. For instance, if you think of Kenya Ways, for instance, you already hear the you know immediately, you know what you're talking about. And basically what we're doing here is a corporate signature tune that espouses the ethos and the aesthetics of what Bomas of Kenya is. It is music is an important part of the mandate of Bomas, and definitely what they did was to take the initiative and get together with the producer and come up with a sound that would create a kind of nostalgia and an association with Bomas of Kenya. And today, as we look into the future, we're not just looking at the traditional instruments that shall be forming part of this signature tune, but also new instruments, modern instruments that show us that we are also moving into the future with culture and as Bomas of Kenya. So ladies and gentlemen, we are now just about to enjoy the brand new signature tune. I will say something about it, and then immediately after I say something about it, I will need you, sir, to once again go to the microphone and launch it officially. And now officially launch, and then we shall have the tune play on the screens. So, ladies and gentlemen, I draw your attention to the screens. We do have the first 11 different instruments that are forming part of this beautiful new signature tune. The first of which is the nyatiti. Everybody knows the nyatiti, which is an 8-string lyre originating, of course, from the Luo ethnic community and in the Nyanza region. That is the nyatiti. The next instrument, ladies and gentlemen, we do not know this name, but it is actually, when we see it, we know it. It's the gara. The gara is a peculiar percussive element or instrument which is part and parcel of the traditional techniques of playing the nyatiti. It is actually the ring metal that the instrumentalist wears around the big toe. And this is the sound that it makes together with the beads. With the bearings, sorry. The gara. The next instrument, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to form part of this great signature tune is the nyidwonge. The nyidwonge is a set of 6 drums with different sizes that played by the hand, and the expert people that play these come from the Luo Nyanza again, and the membranes are obtained from the cowhide. This is the nyidwonge. Nyidwonge. Next, ladies and gentlemen, coming once again from now going from a different group of people, the Mijikenda community, is the Chapul. The Chapul is a cylindrical drum that is played by the Digo and the Duruma, and they, of course, are part of the Mijikenda community. It's covered on both sides by goat skin, and the ropes that tie it actually are loosened and tightened to change the tune. This is the Chapul. Absolutely. The next instrument that we're looking at is the ajawa, which is a percussive instrument made of gourd and beads. You all know this one, ajawa. They are used, of course, by the Luo people and other peoples from the Western Kenya. I don't look like a ajawa. Do I look like an ajawa? Maybe a gourd. Maybe I'm gourd shaped. Okay. Next we have the mabumbum. Mabumbu. The mabumbu, of course, you all know the mabumbu. They are 3-legged drums covered on one side, only the top side, with the goat skin. And the drum derives its name from the sound, boom, 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 that it produces. And it's played by the Giriama of the Mijikenda. That's right. The next instrument is a cylindrical drum covered by monitor lizard skin. There's a difference there. It's called the kalapapla. Not the color purple, sorry. Although I'm wearing purple. Kalapapla, and it's, of course, once again, coming from the Luo community. It is, the special thing here is the monitor skin lizard top. Ooh. The sound is very distinct. The Syngenia Drums. Nani anasengenywa? Okay, a set of percussive instruments. Originally, they came from the Digo communities, of course the Mijikenda, and it is called Syngenia. Especially the Syngenia dancers use it a lot. A set of drums. Thank you, Syngenia. The upatsu, the kayamba is a flat, I think you all know the kayamba, everybody knows kayamba. It's a flat instrument that rattles. It's made of reeds and bean pods, and is used by the Giriama, believe it or not, to drive away demons from sick people. It's no wonder it's a huge, used heavily in the Catholic, in the church. Sorry, just a small joke there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the upatsu is a silver plate used to accompany the rhythms of the Syngenia drums. You all know this one, the chrome-plated plate. Yeah, upatsu. And finally, the chivoti. You all know the chivoti. It's a wind instrument that is used again by during the Syngenia music dancing by the Digo community. So 11 different traditional instruments, some modern instruments as well. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll now ask, please, Waziri, please do the honors and enjoy the sound that you shall hear.
It is my singular honor to officially launch the signature tune of Bomas of Kenya.
Makofi, makofi, makofi. Here comes the sound. There is the sound of Bomas of Kenya. Later on. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite Bwana Waziri and the CAS, PS, and all the different dignitaries and the CEO. And Bwana Chairman, please join us in the middle there so that we can be able to cut the celebratory cake of Bomas at 50. Celebrating 50 years. 50 years of Bomas of Kenya. Hey, 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 hey. We have a tune to celebrate. We have a cake to celebrate. Indeed, it is a wonderful, a beautiful new auditorium and a way forward for the future. Bwana CEO, you need to be there. Yes, yes. And the PS and the CAS, absolutely. Manamberi. Absolutely wonderful. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Cutting the cake. Makofi Bomas at 50. Shangwe na vigelegele. Bomas has attained 50 years, 50 more to come that will be greater and better. All right, so we need a special picture, ladies and gentlemen. I need a special picture of Honorable Balala together with the CEO and the CAS. Just the three of them, please, if you'd allow me. Bona Chairman, oh, well done, Bona Chairman. Unajua kukata keki? Dia Bomasi. So I like the photo. Yeah, okay. Just ask members of the Fourth Estate, please tell us how you want that photo. Please tell us how you want the photo. 3 people. Okay, you need only 3 people there. Okay, if we can do that. Yes, the PS is there. Yes, she's there. All right. Yes, so the 3 of them, thank you. Okay, good, great. And Eleni, happy birthday, please. Happy birthday. How are you singing it? Dear Bomas, happy birthday, dear Bomas. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, dear Bomas. Dear Bomas, happy birthday, dear Bomas. Dear Bomas, happy birthday, dear Bomas, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, dear Bomas. Happy birthday, dear Bomas. Absolutely wonderful, thank you. So the Bomas Utamaduni staff will make sure everybody gets a piece of cake. Utamaduni staff, please make sure everybody gets a cake just now. Make sure everybody gets a piece of cake. Lynette, please come close to me. Lynette, I need you here. Kila mtu apate keki, kila mtu apate keki. Aho. Aho. Watu wapate keki. Haumbi na watu, imba na watu, imba na watu. Imbeni na watu, we're celebrating 50 great years. Go get people. Dance with people, dance with people, dance with people. Our guests. Aho. Aho. Hey. Yes. Okay. All right. Haya, wachezaji, goja kidogo. We will come back to you. Now, when tukirudi, uhakikishe umebeba mtu kutoka guest wakuja waimbe na nyinyi. Sawa sawa? Okay. So, msiende mbali kapo. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to ask Kevo to play for us the signature tune one more time without any other music so that you get the essence, you get to feel the essence and hear the quality of the work that has been done on the Bomas signature tune. Please go ahead, Kevo.
apate keki, kila mtu apate keki.